head to Ohio in West Virginia right now. I got something to drink, I got plenty of snacks, so hopefully I don't have to stop. I'm making one shot, no pun intended with my channel. But the weather is going to be cool initially. I'm actually going in 2 days early because of that. Because it's going to be in the 30s and it's going to get it in the 40s and the 50s, so it's going to gradually warm up over the next week. But the deer movement chart is supposed to be increasing. We'll see how the increase in deer movement compares to the increase in heat. Is the increase in the heat going to repress the movement? I don't know. But we're moving in pretty quick. Hopefully we'll get there about 5 o'clock. I want to get there in time to get an afternoon hunt in and get my stand set up for the morning. It's a lot easier to get your stand set up when it's daylight than it is when it's dark. Now I've done it both, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and a lot of times you have to put your stand up when it is dark. But I prefer not to make any excessive noise, and I especially don't like the light that you got to use to try to put your stand up. So we're headed into Ohio. Like I said, we're in West Virginia. Hopefully the deer will be moving. Talked to some contacts up here that have a bow shop. He said they hit early this year for some odd reason. I don't know what the situation is, but get there 2 days early. See what happens. Bumpy, but we finally got here. About 5.5 hours of driving, so hopefully I can be in the stand. Whew. It's gonna be tight. Time changes tonight too. We got to fall back, which is good for everybody who likes to sleep, but I want to be in a tree stand, so hopefully the bucks are moving. Just saw 2 deer on the road. 2 small bucks got hit. Looks like they've been hit within the last couple of days, so it looks like something's going on. So hopefully the timing's right. Hey, this is Vince. Just a quick note, over 97% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribers. So it'd help me out if you hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Okay, well, I want you to watch how this nice young 10-point, I'm saying he's probably 2.5 years old, works this scrape and the overhead branch. He's doing just a really diligent, thorough job. If you'll watch the rest of this video, there's another buck that comes in on this same day in the afternoon, and he absolutely terrorizes this overhead limb. But getting back to this small 10-point here, if I was in my home state, I would shoot this buck. But since I'm in Ohio and I've shot bigger deer than this, I elect to let him go. He's very symmetrical, nice young buck, definitely a lot of potential, and yes, it was difficult to let him go. And I want you to watch, he looks right at me, and I'm standing there in my red flannel shirt, and he doesn't even notice me. Grr. I don't know what he wants to do. Okay, this is still the first day, actually the first morning hunt. It's still probably about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Had several spikes come through that morning also. I didn't video all of them, but did have some young bucks moving through. The movement was really good. The movement was so high, I actually did not sit down in my summit stand. I actually just sat on the bar, which I've modified and put some padding on. But these deer are just moving through this bottom. I call this the point stand because where I'm at, there's a section of woods that juts out into the field and it reduces the shot down to 30 yards. So these deer are coming through here and they seem very comfortable. They're not alarmed, not spooked. I will say this, there was a very serious drought, severe drought in the Midwest, and it affected the water. So the creek bottom I'm at is completely dried up. And you can see there's some brown spots in this grass, but this buck is still finding some vegetation to feed on. One of the many advantages of hunting this point stand that I have is, not only can I shoot into the field, but I can also shoot into the woods. And you'll notice right here there's a small buck working his way down this dried up creek bed with his nose to the ground, and he's probably trailing a doe. Okay, this is the same day, and this is the afternoon. So I went to lunch, came back, got in the stand at 2 o'clock, and this buck came through about 5. And I want you to absolutely watch how he terrorizes this overhead limb and the ground. He starts out, relatively calm, but his aggression gradually builds up. He's probably smelling the 10 point that had just been there that morning, and he's definitely not happy with it. And as you watch him, you can see how he'll actually bite some of the smaller limbs and pull them down so he can rub them on his preorbital gland. And in just a few seconds, he's actually going to stand on his hind legs so he can do the same thing by getting his preorbital gland on the limb. But he's definitely not happy with who visited his scrape. Of course, this is pretty much a community scrape. And it's one of the things that I learned on this hunt. I'd always heard that multiple bucks would actually use the same scrape, and this definitely proves it. So he's working this scrape really hard, and two nice bucks that came through, but being in Ohio, need to give these deer 2 more years at least. Maybe, who knows, maybe 1 year is all they need, but being in Ohio, I just had to pass them up. So like I said, I saw 7 bucks on this day. It was just an extraordinary amount of buck movement. And some of those I did not get on video, so the ones I've got on video, pretty much I've got here. But it's just an incredible time to be in the woods. So, if you're looking for a time to hunt, most people, they circle a rut date, and usually it pays off. No camo. 7.